Yes, following the recent interview done by BOBI WINE when he appeared on BBC about homosexuality, very many people were touched the bad way, most especially those from the opposition who voted for the anti-homosexuality bill. So, yesterday, the Justice Forum came out with a letter they wrote to BOBI WINE castigating him on calling out their member on supporting the anti-homosexuality bill. So I've done so far various videos about BOBI WINE's interview, which was done on BBC. Before you watch this video, you go and watch this video on this link, because it will be a very good continuation for this video. So during an interview on the BBC radio, when BOBI WINE was asked about the anti-homosexuality law and why his party voted for it in its entirety, he came out and said these following statements. Here is the tape.
But let me just ask you about this. Your party, the National Union platform, voted in favour of the law in its entirety.
Sure. But in my party, I have members of parliament that are working with General Museveni.
What's your view of this anti-homosexual law? You say it was introduced to get at you, to get at the opposition, but do you support it or do you oppose it?
It was brought targeting the opposition, and that means that anything that I say about that law puts not only me but even my loved ones in harm's way. That's why.
So that's why you refrain from taking a position. So even if I were to ask you, if you did become president, would you repeal that law? Again, you would not answer.
I would be very cautious, because I know that it was largely targeting us as the opposition, mainly myself.
He came out to say that those who voted for the anti-homosexuality law work for Mr. Museveni. And I think this was a mistake done by BOBI WINE. And I talked about this mistake in the previous video. For those who never watched the video, I can go on to explain as to why it was a mistake for BOBI WINE to come out and say that the opposition which voted for the anti-homosexuality law work for General Museveni. One, the best answer would have been that he would have said that the National Unity Platform didn't have a position as a party, so each member was free to exercise his free will, so that he cannot put his members of parliament in fire, but also to protect the opposition. Because I know for sure BOBI WINE does not support homosexuality. Today, the Justice Forum came out with a letter which was written to BOBI WINE talking about the same. But before I dive into this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagali. There is a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to. I dedicate this video to Sechitoleko Yasin, a political prisoner who has been in incarceration for more than 3 years. So the letter which was written by the Secretary General of the Justice Forum, JEEMA, it was directed to Mr. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert, the President of National Unity Platform. Dear Mr. Ssentamu, your remarks on BBC as the reference. I'm writing to express our deep concern and disappointment regarding the accusation you made against your colleague and members of parliament from the opposition while on BBC recently. When you were asked about the anti-homosexuality law, in your response, you stated that the law was brought by Mr. Museveni to target you as an opposition leader. Went ahead to accuse your colleagues of working with Mr. Museveni. You are aware the anti-homosexuality law was brought by Honorable Asuman Basalia, the President of the Justice Forum, and it was in the line with what we believe in as JEEMA. The law was overwhelmingly supported by the whole House, including NUP MPs who risked their lives to protect our culture and religious value. Your response, in which you accused these dedicated individuals of betrayal, have deeply troubled members whom are seeking to see to see a change of leadership in our country. Mr. Sentamu, you have the right to support homosexuality without demonizing your fellow leaders who have treated you with respect since they came to know you. We call upon you to retract your accusation and demonstrate your commitment to fostering a culture of respect and cooperation with fellow leaders. Due to public nature of your pronouncement, we will not keep this letter private. We are sharing it with your fellow leaders for the record. So that is the letter which was written by the Justice Forum. It is true that if I was a leader from within the Justice Forum, I would also do the same, because they put some of the opposition leaders in line of fire, but also in a position where they may look like they all worked with Genome 7. It is true that there are some members of parliament from the opposition who work with Genome 7, but it is not true that everyone who voted for the anti-homosexuality bill works with Genome 7. That is a mistake. I repeat, it is true that there are some members of the opposition who work with Genome 7, but it is not true that everyone who voted for the anti-homosexuality law or bill works with Genome 7. That was a slight mistake which was made by BOBI WINE, in my opinion, when he was commenting on the anti-homosexuality law. It is true that homosexuality, especially the laws concerning homosexuality, have great ripple effects when not handled in a proper way. Even full governments are feeling the heat because of such laws. Okay, so a certain individual, especially when you are fighting for freedom, you cannot come out to be in the enemy's fire by opposing what you really don't understand. To me, I think the anti-homosexuality law was not handled as it was supposed to, because they put a boogeyman of sodomizing young people. So the most members of parliament voted for that law, putting in mind that homosexuality was destroying the young people, and they put in very many, and at first it was even more draconian. It is the reason as to why even President Museveni brought back this bill to parliament, so that they can lighten it up. The first bill which was passed was so draconian. Museveni came out to bring it back to parliament so that they can at least remove some things.
So if that is the case, that suspicion of merely being suspected to be cannot be criminalized, cannot and should not be criminalized, because he is like a sick person. If somebody is sick, you criminalize him for that. Now, I'm glad when they went back, apparently they cured this. This was cured. But the woman from the World Bank told me two issues, for which I was going to return the bill again. And so I was about to return the bill again, but then the end of last week, I was going through my papers and I saw the letter from the Attorney General telling me that the issues I had raised with the whips had all been resolved, that I should now sign the bill, and I signed it.
In fact, the law which was passed is not the first law which was made by Asumani Baswala. The one which was made by Asumani Baswala was reduced to a lesser biting law. Justice Forum was within their right to also clarify on this, and not by putting their member and the only MP they have in the enemy's fire. Of course, that's my opinion. Do drop me your comments by commenting about this. Thank you very much for listening in. If this is your first time on this YouTube channel, I implore you to subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.